What's up everyone, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'll be unboxing a very unique and very rare Daron Realtoy model that just so happens to be my most favorite Daron Realtoy model, and has also been one that I've been trying to get pretty much since I started collecting almost 4 years ago now, and that is the Sun Country Airlines 737 Airport Playset. So I recently got this model off of eBay, and when I got it, it was a pretty special opportunity because when I got it, it actually happened to be my first time winning a bidding war. So if you've seen any of my other videos where I mentioned where I got the planes and if I won it in a bidding, usually the only way that I would win a bidding is if I am the only bidder and nobody else bids. But this one, for this model, it was we'd say a bidding war where there were multiple bidders, and it was my first time actually winning one of those, so I just like to think that was a good special opportunity for me, and I was really glad that it happened to be this model because this has been one I've been trying to get since I started collecting. So, like I said at the start of this video, this is my most favorite Daron Realtoy model. Something about the livery design I just really like for Sun Country Airlines. I saw the livery of this aircraft in person in 2022, and it is actually now what my profile picture is, and has been for the past 2 years now. So, this model is one of the most unique Daron Realtoy models, and it actually wasn't sold too long ago. So this model was first introduced sometime around, I believe it was 2016, and when it was first introduced and first produced, it was pretty much just like every average common Daron Realtoy model. It was sold on pretty much every website that the Daron Realtoy models are sold on now. It was sold in store and then like Amazon, eBay, Airplane Shop, the Daron website and stuff. But then 2 years later, in 2018, this model randomly was just suddenly discontinued and pretty much went out of stock on every website. And from then on, it pretty much, the value went up of it. The value of this model went up because lots of people decided to think it was a very rare model. At the time when it was first discontinued, it wasn't a very rare model because there still were a good amount that were produced. But over time, this model I know was listed for pretty high prices. The first time I had seen a listing for this model when I started collecting was for $100. So definitely this model became very valuable, and because I think of just the cool box art design and the livery design of this model, lots of collectors really wanted it, and it became a prized possession for many new collectors, and lots of people really wanted it, and people were willing to pay good amounts of money for it. So I started collecting in the start of 2020, and right before COVID hit. And for some reason, when I pretty much first found out about this model and wanted to try to get it, it was very difficult for me to get. 4 years later, I was able to get all these other models, but somehow I was never able to actually get this. So, but after 4 years, I was finally able to get this one, new condition off of eBay, so I'll be unboxing it here. And I also, after I review this playset, I will also review, this is one of 2 Sun Country models. After this model was discontinued, I think it was 2022, Daron finally introduced the Tide Pod livery of the Sun Country 737. So, I do want to try something a little different in this video, because like in my last video, I did spend a lot of that time talking about in the FedEx A380 review video. I spent a lot of time talking about that model, so I kind of wanted to try getting into the review first. So I want to start off with the review of this box first, and then I will unbox the plane. So the entire box is mostly in the dark navy blue for Sun Country Airlines. There's a Sun Country Airlines logo up at the top with the S and the sun around it. And then there is a Sun Country Airlines. Sun Country is in the white lowercase font, and then Airlines is in the orange lowercase font. Warning label at the top, you have the Airport Playset and then the Sun Country Airlines logo again in all the dark navy blue. And then there is the new Daron logo on the bottom, and you have the orange stripe that goes kind of across the bottom. And kind of where the stock image would be of the playset is where the Sun Country Airlines logo is displayed. Diecast metal, authentic details, and plastic parts. And then Airport Playset in the bottom right corner. And then on the side, you have Airport Playset with kind of the Sun Country logo enlarged right there. Same thing on the other side as well. And then on the bottom, Sun Country Airlines logo again, die-cast metal, authentic details, plastic parts, and then Airport Playset. And then the bottom of the playset is in the white coloring. And then on the back, you have the really nice box art design for this playset. So unlike lots of other playsets where they usually have the aircraft and then the vehicles displayed with some sort of airport theme, Daron did decide to do something a little different for this model here. I have an airport playset displayed there, and then you have kind of, I think their intent for this was for the back of the box, if you wanted to maybe cut out the runway here and kind of use it as, since this model is a playset, and use it as kind of like a runway strip to land the plane on, or maybe even if you wanted to cut out the airport maybe and use it as like a cool airport background setup. I think that was pretty cool design. Obviously I would not recommend cutting the box open because that would kind of defeat the whole purpose of keeping the box. But it is cool how they included a little quote here for the air traffic control tower with the "You are clear for takeoff." Although the ironic part of that is that usually they say that before the plane takes off and the plane is already taking off. But anyway, it kind of defeats the purpose that it's made for kids. So Sun Country Airlines logo in the top left corner, and Sun Country 737 displayed right there. And then you have the airport. I don't really know if this is based off of any specific airport, but airport displayed with the runway right there. The new Daron logo down in the bottom left corner with the trademark licensing stuff. And then the manufacturing date for this model is October 14th, 2016. I don't know why, but I feel like October is a very common month that most of my models are produced in. I keep seeing a lot of, I feel like I keep saying October in a lot of these. So yeah, this model was one of the first batch that was produced, the first year it came out. So I did do a bit of research on the specific livery for this airline. So this is, I think this is the longest lasting livery that Sun Country has had. This livery was first introduced in 2001, and the name for this livery is, I think it's really just the 737 livery. The livery was made to introduce when Sun Country Airlines first got the 737 back in 2001. It was a completely new livery, and they used it on their planes up until 2018. So I believe 2018, when they discontinued this model, and 2018 when they discontinued this model, I believe a reason for that might have been when when Sun Country Airlines first introduced the Tide Pod livery. So, but even though this model wasn't distributed by Daron until I think it was 2022 when they finally released this model only as a single plane. I have the box right here. When they released it only as a single plane, but Sun Country Airlines first introduced this livery in 2018. So I guess whenever they first introduced it, Daron decided that would be a good time to discontinue this model. I don't really understand that because this model definitely was a very popular model, and I kind of feel like that was not a great decision on Daron's part to discontinue this because it was definitely a very good selling model. But yeah, so when I had started collecting in 2020, I kind of was like just at the end of when this model was discontinued. I was just 2 years late, so I wasn't too happy about that, but anyway, all the waiting did end up paying off because I got this really great model, great condition, and the box is also in really great condition. So here is the Sun Country Airlines 737 in both the 737 livery and the Tide Pod livery, and then the two vehicles. Like usual in most of my videos, I didn't take out the signs because they are the same exact ones that come in most other playsets. The first thing I wanted to mention about this model, because I know probably quite a few people will just skip through lots of this. The one biggest thing I wanted to address with this model is that you always need to be careful whenever you are taking this out for whoever gets this model in the future, or if you have it already. Always be sure to, specifically for this one, to be careful whenever you're taking it out of the box. Because even though the stickers on this model are very durable, the stickers on this model are a lot more like thick and durable than the ones on lots of the other models. So the stickers are fine, but the paint on this model is extremely thin, so which means that it can scratch easily. So I got this model in new condition, and you can see even on the nose it already kind of started to, and on the tail. So just be sure that whoever gets this model, please be very careful whenever you are taking it out or putting it back in the box, or if you just have it in general, because the paint on this model is very thin. So, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to address that first before getting into the review. So here is the Sun Country 737 and the 737 livery design. So, I could definitely tell why a lot of people, I mean, this is my favorite model too, so I'm sure you could probably tell why this is so many people's favorite models and why it is a model that is on such high demand. Because of the great detail that was put into this model, and honestly, the way the playset is, it kind of the playset is kind of has the design with the signs and stuff, and the vehicle is kind of just as a normal playset. But I almost wish that since this model was only distributed for 2 years, that Daron kind of put a little bit extra into this playset to be more of like an exclusive, maybe. Because I think the livery design is really great. I think they had a really great opportunity with that. But it is what it is. So yeah, let's get into the review. So up at the front, there are the 737 cockpit windows. That one of the great things with this livery that I really like is how the light blue and the dark blue perfectly align right there with the cockpit windows, and they do a great job of blending together. Then you have the orange stripe that kind of starts out pretty thin, and then goes down in a little bit more thick down throughout the rest of the fuselage on both sides of the plane. Starts out right underneath the cockpit windows. And then at the front of the plane, you have the iconic kind of the blue head to the plane on the nose of the plane towards the front of it. The light blue Sun Country Airlines logo, which is one of the most iconic parts of this plane, that kind of makes the livery what it is and most recognizable. Sun Country Airlines does have their kind of the slightly newer version. It was kind of updated of this livery. That livery featured the I think the livery was pretty much exactly the same with the tail design and then like rear of the plane with the livery, and then the dark navy blue with the orange stripe. The only thing it had was a smaller Sun Country Airlines logo without the light blue on the front of it and the S logo. I don't really like that livery. That is personally my least favorite Sun Country livery, but still was a nice way to have kind of a variety, because now there still are 3 different Sun Country Airlines liveries, and all the liveries still have a really great design to them, and that's one of the best parts I like about whenever airlines have that variety in livery designs, because especially for plane spotters, it gives a really great variety in plane spotting. So next, there is Sun Country logo in the the white bold lettering right there. The cabin windows on this model are in the light gray coloring. Go throughout the entire plane. There are the emergency exit doors over the wings, and then there are the dark navy blue engines. They don't have any logos on it, but they still are really nicely painted. And then the undercarriage to this plane is the nice bright white coloring. Right here, you can kind of see here where the sticker kind of blends in, where the white kind of overlaps there. And then there is the Sun Country Airlines logo on the tail. So you can't see the differences here in the coloring between the older livery and the newer livery with the design. I do like the design on the Tide Pod livery, though, that they added the extra stripe pattern on the undercarriage to up across the tail. I do really like the Tide Pod livery as well, and I think they did a great job with designing that one, and it was a pretty good update to the Sun Country Airlines fleet. Then there is the rear cabin door, and then on the bottom of the plane, on the tail wings, you have the manufacturing date, which again is October 14th, 2016, with the Realtoy logo, and then the model stand, the hole for the model stand on the main landing gear right there. So yeah, really great Realtoy model right here. Like I said at the start of the review, just be careful whenever you are taking it out, because the paint on this model is very thin, especially like up here. You can really tell, if you have this model, or whenever you get it, you do get it, yeah, you can definitely tell this paint on this model is relatively thin, so just to be careful with it, because I'm sure the last thing anyone wants, especially for this model, would be for the paint to start chipping away. But the stickers on this model are pretty durable. I know when I got it, it was kind of peeling over here, but that was just because sometimes over time, with how some of the stickers are made, it can kind of do that. But yeah, so moving on from the plane to the first vehicle, this is the stair truck. Pretty much like all the other usual stair trucks with the sticker on the top, across the side, on the bottom. I do like how they use the dark navy blue design on the bottom rather than it just being all white. With the Sun Country Airlines logo there, the sun with the S in it, and then the S also has the dark navy blue on the inside, so that way you can see it better. And then the Sun Country Airlines logo here. I also like the overlap here. Between having the white background, the blue Sun Country, and then the orange airlines. And here you have the blue background, the white Sun Country, and then the orange airlines. I think that was a pretty cool design for this vehicle. And then moving on to the catering truck. This one you just have the dark navy blue background with the Sun Country Airlines logo and the white Sun Country and the orange airlines. This one is kind of like more of a defective one though. Unfortunately, it doesn't really close all the way. There might be a way to fix it, but I'm not too concerned about it. As long as the plane is in good condition, that's really what mostly matters with these playsets. So now I'll move on to the Tide Pod livery. So I never got a chance before to review the box. So the box is actually really similar to the design of the playset design, the playset box. So this one, you have the Sun Country Airlines logo over the top. You have the white background with their logo, the dark blue, navy blue, Sun Country, and then the orange airlines. You have the logo again up at the top with the dark navy blue at the top as well. On the bottom, you have the new Daron logo, die-cast metal, authentic livery, and plastic parts. On the bottom, there is a Sun Country Airlines logo again. Sun Country, nice big lettering right here with the enlarged logo on the side. I think it was pretty cool how they did rather than just kind of cramming the logo in, they incorporated the little curve here for the sun to kind of make it fit in better. I think that was a really good design. I really like the side of the box. I think Daron did a great job with designing that. And then on the back of the box, you have the boxer image for the Tide Pod livery of the Sun Country 737-800 with the logo up at the top there. I kind of like how it almost resembles like the sun would be in the center of it with their logo. I think that was kind of their purpose behind the design of it. Sun Country Airlines logo up at the top, die-cast metal, authentic livery, plastic parts. And then the manufactured by Realtoy International, Daron logo, and then the manufacturing date for this model was January 17th of 2022, and then there is the extra. Daron recently added this. I think it was in like maybe 2021 they started adding this on it for, I think it was their Instagram, maybe Facebook as well, the hashtag DaronPlanes and the @DaronPlanes. So I think they added the logo design on the box a lot more than they did on the playset. I can count probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different times they added the logo design on this box. So definitely, if you can't tell what the livery is, and then plus you have the model on both sides, so that's technically 9 different times that the Sun Country logo is displayed. So I'm sure everyone would know what this airline is after that. So for this model, up at the front, you have the 737-800 cockpit windows. With the entire front half of the plane being in the orange Sun Country coloring. I think the orange is definitely a lot more, I don't really know how to describe it, but like on the older livery, the orange is a little bit more, kind of, I guess what you would say soft one, but on the Tide Pod livery, the orange is definitely a lot more vibrant. You have the Sun Country logo, definitely a lot larger than what it was on the original one. Plus, the original one does seem to be capitalized. This one is in all lowercase. You have the white outlined cabin doors and emergency exits, and then the rear cabin door. And also the original one does not have a registration number. This one does have a registration number, a real registration number, and 804SY Boeing 737-800. I believe that's what that says, 737-800 right there. Yeah, 737-800. And then, like I stated before, one of the great things I like about this livery is that how they didn't just leave it the plain navy blue, and they incorporated this really cool striped pattern in the design here that kind of swoops up along here. And then the nice vibrant Sun Country logo right there on the tail. Also is a little bit more enlarged than what it was on the original one as well. And the S, if you can tell, the S is also a little different. The S on the other one is has a little bit more curved edges. And then the S on the newer one, I guess the S on the newer one kind of looks like the that Times New Roman font, I guess is what you can kind of say. It's a lot more simplified. I kind of like the older one better though, honestly. I like the original one better. Kind of to me adds a little bit more of a cartoonish character to it. I kind of think that's almost what the whole plane is kind of in a cartoon kind of character. The typo livery is a little bit more modernized, I guess is what you could say. And then, yeah, the bottom of the plane, you can see the nice color change between the dark navy blue and then the bright vibrant orange. Realtoy logo with the model stand, and then the manufacturing date on the tail wing for January 17th of 2022, and then the dark navy blue engines. Both of the models, there's nothing on the winglets as well. So yeah, this model was only distributed as a single plane. It still is currently a common model. And yeah, it would be great if, I think it'd be really cool if Realtoy updates this model to be fully painted. I'm just hoping that for anyone who has not gotten this model yet, if you are either a new Realtoy collector or just haven't gotten it yet, I highly suggest that you get this model, just in case it ends up, I don't want to say meets the same fate as the original one, but in case the same exact thing happens to it and it suddenly is discontinued and then it all of a sudden becomes really difficult to find. I think that's why when this model when it first came out, I think it was pretty much sold out relatively quickly because lots of people were buying it. But yeah, so that is both of the Sun Country Airlines models. So I think I pretty much said all of the information behind this model and all the details behind it. So once again, I'll say it one more time. Whenever you get this model, just please be careful with it when you are taking it out. Just because the paint is pretty thin on it. So that pretty much is all for today's video. So thank you all so much for watching, and I definitely will be incorporating this model in a lot more of my future videos since it is my most favorite model and has been one I've been trying to get for a long time. I think I will make another video in the future. I'll probably title it something about my collection with some of my most favorite planes, or kind of like my collection is almost complete for me. Pretty much I have reached my main goal. My main goal with collecting Realtoys was pretty much to get this model. So for now, I'll just work on getting pretty much anything I don't already have. So thank you all so much for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next video.